Welcome back. The first step is to add the hard drive to the computer, but since this is a virtual machine, we're not adding a physical hard drive, we're adding a virtual hard drive. So make sure that your Fedora is turned off. You can see it's powered off. Go to the settings. Okay, and then go to storage. This is where Linux is installed, okay? And when we start our Linux system, it's going to have device letter SDA, okay? So the device file for this is SDA. We don't want to touch that one. We are going to create a new one, and this will be called SDB when we start it up. So let's highlight the SATA controller, click the plus sign, and we're going to create a new virtual hard drive. If you have an existing hard drive, maybe you're moving an existing VDI file, they're called VDI files, you're moving it from one computer to another, you would add it to the Linux system. But in this case, we're creating a new one. So let's click Create, accept the default, accept the default. We don't want this to be too big. 8 gig, I think that's too big. So let's shrink the size down, and I'm going to make it, I don't know, maybe approximately 400 megabytes. Okay, now you can see the location where it's going to be installed. Okay, and you can see that it is a VDI file. So VDI means it's a virtual hard drive. It's not a physical hard drive. Let's go ahead and click Create and click Choose, and there it is. Now I want to emphasize this is where Linux is installed. Look at the size of it, 11 gigabytes. Don't touch that one. If I right click and remove, that will I will have to reinstall Linux. Don't touch that one. What we want to play around with is this second one for 28 megabytes. When I boot up Linux, this will be SDA, and this will be SDB. So let's click OK, and let's start this Linux machine with 2 hard drives. It doesn't matter that they're virtual hard drives. Linux doesn't know the difference between a physical hard drive and a virtual hard drive. VirtualBox creates an environment, a platform for Linux, and Linux looks at that virtual hard drive and doesn't know the difference. So Linux is booting up. And let's verify the creation of that new hard drive. So I'm going to do it in 2 different ways. I'm going to go to Applications, Systems, and I'm going to choose the disk utility. There's a similar tool in Windows, but in Linux it's called disk utility. That's where Linux was installed. Look at the name, SDA. This is the new hard drive that we just added. Look at the name, SDB. When we pull it over, we can see the SDB and the original one where Linux was installed, SDA. From the command line, let's go to Application, System Tools, Terminal. If I go to that location, change directory dev, okay, that's where we find the device files. I type ls, and we can see there, here's the original hard drive, SDA, with 2 partitions, partition 1, partition 2. There's the new hard drive that we just created. So if that file exists, that means Linux detected the new hard drive when it was booting up. However, there are no partitions there. In the next video, we'll see how to create SDB1 or SDB2, 3, how to create partitions on that new hard drive.